Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 4.
It was a tough call last night. We had a Zoom call last night. It was a tough Zoom to share the news with them because they were looking forward to that game.
And so was the rest of the area. CCU head coach Jamie Chadwell speaking out this afternoon following news the Chanticleers will not play for the Sun Belt Championship tomorrow. More from him and more from people on campus. That's straight ahead. Plus, state leaders providing an update on the vaccine distribution across South Carolina when officials say we could see the next doses arrive for our medical personnel. Thanks for tuning into your only local news at 4 this Friday afternoon. I'm Meredith Heline. We're looking ahead to the weekend, but our First Alert Weather team is getting you ready for another cold night as we head into Saturday. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold gives us a closer look at these chilly temperatures in his certified most accurate forecast.
Yeah, it's been another cool day today, Meredith, but at least we did finally see that sunshine. Severe clear, as I call it, out there this afternoon. Not a cloud in sight. With those clear skies, though, temperatures will be falling fast as we head into the nighttime hours tonight. Heavy frost likely developing as temperatures head down to 34 in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, 33 in Longs. We'll drop down to the freezing mark here for Loris and Conway, 31 for Aner, and around 30 for most of the PD. In fact, 30 is my forecast in Florence, Darlington, Hartsville, and Lake City. A couple of upper 20s sprinkled in once you get near the North Carolina border. And again, heading out early tomorrow morning around sunrise, get ready for a heavy frost on your windshield. But heading into tomorrow afternoon, we do see another round of sunshine, giving way to a few more clouds and a little bit warmer as we climb our way into the low 50s. Then we're looking ahead to some more rain on Sunday and a very powerful Christmas cold front. The latest on all of that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
It is a devastating time. This is obviously not an outcome that we wanted to have. Our team had worked hard, all year long, obviously, to have just an unbelievable special year, and we're looking forward to hosting the conference championship and playing Saturday.
New at 4, CCU head coach Jamie Chadwell speaking just over an hour ago after one of his players tested positive for COVID-19, causing the cancellation of tomorrow's Sun Belt Championship game. WMBF News reporter Catherine Phillips is live outside of Brooks Stadium. Catherine, tell us what led up to this tough call.
Meredith, understandably, players, fans, the whole team, and really the whole city of Conway are devastated after this news broke out just 2 days before the game was set to take place here at Brooks Stadium. The stadium here at Coastal had already been decked out in Sunbelt colors ahead of the game. Now, today during the news conference, Chadwell told us they did try to figure out if there was any way to let the game go on. However, too many people need to quarantine in order to follow Sunbelt and CDC guidelines. Chadwell also says they made sure it wasn't a false positive, taking the test to a lab to double check. Now, with the protocols in place, as long as they don't have any other positive test, they should be able to get the group back to practice in 7 days. If all goes according to this plan, they will still be set for whatever bowl game they do go to. Now, Chadwell says they are really fortunate they made it this far into the season, noting how, again, the area is now another COVID-19 hotspot. Now, Chadwell also said during his conference he would like to see the winner of the Cincinnati-Tulsa game play his team and have Louisiana play the loser.
And Catherine, a big question now for people who bought tickets to this game tomorrow. What do you know? What have you found out about getting those refunds?
Yes, Meredith, we asked the CCU athletic department about what fans should know, and they said that if you bought your ticket through the university, by now you should have already gotten an email about what you need to do to get your refund. So make sure to check your inbox. Meredith?
All right, check those inboxes. Catherine Phillips live in Conway with that update on the canceled game tomorrow. And CCU's star quarterback, meanwhile, voicing his disappointment about the cancellation of tomorrow's game, while at the same time expressing confidence heading into next year. Grayson McCall tweeted this earlier today, quote, "Devastated for all the seniors and all our guys that worked so incredibly hard to get to this point. We're still here, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. Sunbelt football runs through Conway, South Carolina from here on out. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. #RingMe. All right, from quarterback McCall. South Carolina is seeing a record number of new coronavirus cases this afternoon and a 10th straight day now of more than 2,000 cases. Today, DHEC says there are 3,648 new confirmed cases in the state. That brings the total since the beginning of this pandemic to more than 247,000. Of those new cases, 163 are in Florence County. That's the 5th most in the state. Horry County has 135 new cases and Georgetown County has 90 new cases compared to just 14 yesterday. DHEC also says 28 more people have died from COVID-19 in our state. That includes 2 deaths in Horry County and 1 each in Florence and Darlington counties. More than 4,500 people now have lost their lives to the virus in our state. Almost 26% of the more than 14,000 test results this afternoon are positive. A short time ago, we also learned the First Lady of South Carolina, Peggy McMaster, has tested positive for COVID-19. State officials say Governor Henry McMaster's test has come back negative. The First Lady was notified of the positive results this morning after being tested yesterday. Officials say she isn't experiencing any symptoms. She'll isolate for the next 10 days. Governor McMaster will also quarantine for 7 days while being tested regularly. He released this statement saying, quote, "This shows us once again how contagious this virus truly is and how important it is that we follow the advice and recommendations of our public health officials." Also in the last hour, we've learned CCU will not require students to get tested for COVID-19 before returning to campus in the spring. Coastal shared its spring 2021 operations and academic plan this afternoon, saying testing is encouraged for students, faculty, and staff. They recommend getting tested within 3 days of returning to campus. CCU says it'll continue to work with DHEC to provide free testing on campus for those who can't get tested prior to returning. We shared the full spring plan with you on WMBFnews.com. It includes more information on academic instruction models. Just look for this story on the live links page. DHEC provided an update on the fight against the pandemic and the rollout of the vaccine this afternoon. DHEC Interim Public Health Director Dr. Brandon Traxler called this week momentous as the first healthcare workers received the best defense against the virus. She says to date, more than 7,000 frontline medical workers have been vaccinated. They'll receive their second dose in 21 days. That's 21 days from the first dose. The second doses are reserved for those same people. Traxler anticipates next week's allocation of the vaccine will arrive Tuesday.
We won't know the specific number of doses until they're received. But these doses will go to the same acute care facilities that received vaccine this week so that they can continue to vaccinate those frontline medical teams that are saving lives.
DHEC is in the process of figuring out the best way to display vaccine data on its website, and they hope to share it online by the beginning of January. In a WMBF News exclusive, we're hearing from nurses working on the front line of the pandemic right here in our community. WMBF News reporter Kate Merriman joins us with what they've endured here at home this year.
Nurses walk into hospitals every day, not knowing if a patient will worsen or even survive COVID. Here in our area, nurses have seen patients gasp their last breath, and they want you to take this virus seriously. This year has been full of unknowns, but they say having to deal with the patient's final words never gets easier for them. We've lost over 4,400 South Carolinians to COVID to date. Oftentimes, patients are dying alone because of strict COVID visitation restrictions. Nurses like Tiffany Weddell are doing all they can to provide hope and ease during this difficult time. They thank technology, for example, video calls, to give families some type of closure, but it's certainly not the same as a physical goodbye.
But that doesn't replace holding a hand or a hug or being able to see your loved ones. So I think it's been a challenge and it's been hard, and it's hard not to internalize and feel for families, because that's, I mean, you don't go into nursing without first loving people. So, you know, we've held a lot of hands and said a lot of words, farewell words for patients' families, and that's been very difficult.
Waddell wants you to remember that even though vaccines are becoming available, this doesn't mean you should let your guard down. To hear more about the two nurses' thoughts on the vaccine, head over to WMBFnews.com. In Myrtle's Inlet, Kate Merriman, WMBF News.
Authorities in Florence are investigating this afternoon after a deadly shooting. Investigators with the police department were called to the 800 block of West Dixie Street. They found a car on the side of the road with a deceased person inside. More details like the name of that person and any possible suspect information has not yet been released. We'll be sure to keep you updated on this developing story. As winter break gets underway for many students, how do you and your children navigate the time off from school during an unprecedented pandemic? We have that story and some tips for you in just 3 minutes. For many students across the country, it is now holiday break. And while that can be fun and exciting, it can also be stressful, especially during a pandemic. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has 6 ways to help you navigate the holidays with your kids.
Whether it's juggling childcare or family coming to town, the holiday break can be fun or feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. First, maintain simple routines.
That might mean just going to sleep around the same time every day, generally waking up around the same time too. And just by doing that, it lets our kids and ourselves know what to expect, which can really create a sense of comfort and security.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life says next, practice healthy habits. Eat well, get good sleep, limit screen time, and stay active. Third, it's okay to say no.
There's only so much time in the day, and if we say yes to everything, we're just gonna feel overloaded and probably burned out within a couple of days, if not hours.
Fourth, just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. It can help you cope with stress and unwind. Fifth, get creative. Maybe start a new tradition.
Instead of thinking about all the things we can't do, we can really use it as an opportunity with our family to embrace change and think about what we can do instead.
Finally, stay connected to family and friends you can't see because of the pandemic.
Instead of just having a regular phone call, consider turning it into a FaceTime or a Zoom.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
Well, we finally saw the return of the sunshine out there today, and we're going to continue that trend as we head into Saturday, but the forecast is going to be staying changeable here as we head into the weekend. Let's take you through it step by step. Starting off 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's clear, it's cold, it's frosty, temperatures down into the 30s. But we hold on to a good deal of sunshine as we head through the day tomorrow, although some high clouds will start to thicken up by the time we head towards tomorrow afternoon. That trend of thickening clouds really starts to increase, especially Saturday night. And notice what happens here as we head towards daybreak on Sunday. We see our next round of showers approaching from the south. So Sunday may be one of those good days to sleep in, enjoy that coffee a little bit longer. A gloomy start to the day. Some of those off and on showers continue with us as we work our way towards midday on Sunday, but then a little bit of a break arriving as we head towards the afternoon. However, likely still staying cloudy and gloomy. So kind of a split personality this weekend. Plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. Temperatures into the low 50s. Low 50s again for Sunday, but notice those rain chances up to 60%, making for a kind of a gloomy and dreary finish to the weekend. And then we start looking ahead to that Christmas forecast. For a couple of days now, we've been talking about a powerful Christmas cold front. That's still in the offing here. Let's talk about that cold front here with Christmas Eve. That front is still to our west. Out ahead of it, likely climbing into the 60s with showers and gusty winds through Christmas Eve. But watch what happens as we head towards Christmas Day. That cold front blasts well off our coast. Our winds turn out of the northwest, and we're talking about Arctic air that may try to sneak in here for Christmas Day. Could result in our coldest Christmas around here that we've seen in several years. But we're still not expecting any snow. Here's what that forecast looks like. Again, Christmas Eve, periods of rain, strong winds, kind of a gusty, wet day. Temperatures into the 60s, but likely starting to fall by the afternoon into the evening. And there's that Christmas Day forecast as those temperatures struggle just to make it to 40. Now overnight tonight, 34 degrees. Again, a heavy frost out there early tomorrow morning. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, though, fair skies with that mix of sun and clouds and those temperatures in the low 50s. Your Myrtle Beach 7-day forecast showing those rain chances coming back on Sunday. We'll likely deal with another round of showers heading into the day on Monday. Then it's quiet for Tuesday and Wednesday, but really focusing on that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast. Notice 65 Christmas Eve, but down to 40 on Christmas Day with a gusty wind blowing. And we'll keep that cold air going as we head into the final weekend of 2020. Likely going to keep those temperatures stuck in the 40s. Florence, your 7-day forecast also taking us to 52 for the weekend. It's a sunny 52 tomorrow, but a wet 52 on Sunday. Showers continue into Monday. And then here as well, those big dramatic changes from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. 66 on Thursday, only 40 for a high temperature by Christmas Day.
We have a traffic alert now to remind you of for those of you living in Florence. The city says contractor work on the city's West Evans Streetscape project will create closures on the road between Coit Street and McQueen Street next week. Starting Monday and lasting through Christmas Eve, that stretch of road will be closed from 7:30 in the morning until 5 in the evening. Because of the closure, the city center building's Evans Street entrance will not be accessible. You're still able, though, to enter through McQueen and Chev Streets. Ahead at 4:30, Florence reporter Cameron Crowe joins us live to explain how this project is just the start of a 10-year plan for the city. Meanwhile, in Robeson County, those of you driving on Interstate 95 are going to run into some slowdowns Monday. Heading northbound, the left shoulder will be closed between mile markers 35 and 37 from 8:30 that morning until 11, again this Monday. Then from 7 that evening until 11 at night, the left lane will be closed between mile markers 23 and 26. That's where crews will be working to repair sections that were damaged by recent crashes. Officials remind drivers to be mindful of workers during those times. We've all dropped our cell phones, unfortunately, a time or two, but have you ever dropped one out of an airplane? Well, one man did in Rio de Janeiro, and it was recording video. Here's Jan Moose.
The next time you drop your cell phone, think of this guy. Talk about a dropped call. Seems like people delight in destroying iPhones, shredding them, drowning them in milk, piercing them with nails. But Brazilian documentary maker Ernesto Galeotto wanted to use his phone, not lose it, as he shot the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. But when he took one hand off, the phone took off. Ernesto got a little annoyed. Here's how it looked from the phone's point of view. A blurry, spinning 19 seconds later, the iPhone 6 landed. Amid the beach grass, the next day, Ernesto used the Find My Phone app and actually found it. You'd say thank you, too, if your phone fell out of a plane and still worked with only minor damage to the screen protector and case. Jealous Twitter users complained, I could just look at my screen and it cracks, but I drop mine into a urinal and it dies. Jimmy Fallon showcased the survival story.
The iPhone 6 slipped out of his hand. That's crazy. I mean, who the hell still has an iPhone 6?
It turns out you can take aim and shoot an iPhone, but drop it from a plane and it's still not shot. Ernesto won't have to ask Santa for a new one, but Santa should hold tight onto his while aloft in his sleigh. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Pretty crazy story there. Well, as we get closer to Christmas, we want to see how all of you here at home are celebrating. Send us pictures of your decorations, and they could be shown right here on the air, like these beautiful displays. There's a COVID tree. Just go to WMBFnews.com or open the WMBF News app and select Submit a Photo. You're watching your only local news at 4. Keep it here. This year has been a tough one for many, but especially performers. The pandemic has limited audiences and closed stages. For the musicians you're about to meet, all the world is a stage. Noelle Walker has their story.
We are really thrilled to be here in Dallas today.
The Arts District has lots of stages, but none is open for morning coffee, except one.
The concert truck can go where other stages can't be heard.
And play concerts pretty much anywhere you can park a truck.
Like the driveway of One Arts Plaza.
Perfectly suited for pandemic conditions.
Just add lights and music.
Music provides a space and a time where nothing else matters.
Nick Luby and Susan Jang travel the U.S. in their concert truck, bringing classical music to communities. In a concert hall, the audience would be the guest.
But the concert truck is a guest wherever it goes.
And this seemed like a great way to share music with people on their own turf. I really just love sharing music. I love playing music. I love performing. And there's an audience that you can really connect with. It's a very special kind of communication.
The kind that needs no words, the kind you just feel.
A lot of people have been feeling very isolated.
Music brings people together, apart.
People are so grateful to hear live music again. You know, it's a piece of normalcy. The next piece that we are going to play is by Sergei Rachmaninoff.
With the concert truck center stage, the pandemic is pushed into the wings.
My heart feels really full when we deliver a great concert. Thanks again so much for having us.
These pop-up concerts are all held outdoors, where both audiences and performers are able to safely distance. Performances are free and last between 45 to 60 minutes.
Well, sunny skies and temperatures today that finally managed to climb out of the 40s, sitting at 50 right now. That's our high temperature for the day in the Grand Strand. Turning colder again overnight tonight. Look at those cold temperatures in your weekend forecast next at 4:30.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 4:30.
A decade-long plan to renovate one community now officially underway. Cameron Crowe joins us live with why area leaders think this project is vital to everyone who lives there. And talks about a new stimulus bill making headway in Washington. We have an update from Capitol Hill in just minutes. Thanks for staying with us for your news at 4:30. I'm Meredith Heeline. Before we get to those stories for you, be ready to bundle up if you're planning to head out tonight. We are looking at another cold start to the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold explains in his certified most accurate forecast.
Yeah, that lingering chill, Meredith, going to be sticking around with us here as we head through the evening and overnight hours tonight. Certainly looks a lot better than it has this time the past 3 days when we've been socked in with the clouds. But notice those temperatures still chilly. 40s for most of us, although we have briefly managed to hit 50 here across the Grand Strand. But those temperatures overnight tonight fall fast, and we're down to 34 in Myrtle Beach, 35 overnight tonight from Murrells Inlet, 32 in Conway, 31 in Marion, 30 in Florence, and a couple of 20s once you get here north and west of I-95. With those temperatures and a light wind overnight tonight, pretty heavy frost if you're going to be heading out early in the day tomorrow. But tomorrow afternoon, we'll send temperatures another degree or two higher than today. That's going to put us up into the low 50s with plenty of sunshine that gradually starts to give way to some more clouds. Those clouds ushering in our next rainmaker by Sunday. I'll have a look at that with future radar coming up.
A PD city turned its downtown into a hub for small businesses and entertainment over the last decade. Now city leaders plan to expand as they turn their attention to new development. WMBF News reporter Cameron Crowe is live to explain the city's next steps.
Meredith, the lot behind me doesn't look like much now, but it's a part of Florence's vision when it comes to downtown. I'm standing at the site of the Urban Square project, one of the first expansion projects in Florence's 10-year comprehensive plan. The lot will soon be home to a parking deck, an apartment complex, and conference space. While construction won't begin until next summer, right next door, road work is already taking place on West Evans Street. The streetscape project is meant to complement Project Urban Square. Assistant City Manager Clint Moore says the Evans Street project will make the area more attractive to families and businesses and will provide more access with bike paths and sidewalks. As you drive up Irby Street, the Belmont apartment complex is also under construction and will provide another nice residential area within walking distance of downtown Florence. Moore says that with these developments, he hopes to see more people living in downtown over the next 10 years.
Over the last 15 to 20 years, it's more important to people to have all of these services and access to restaurants, grocery stores, retail very close to them, and that helps create a vibrant downtown.
The Urban Square project, apartment complex and parking deck will take about a year to complete, but Moore says the entire project will take about 5 years. Reporting live in Florence, I'm Cameron Crowe, WMBF News.
My friends at the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office are going to have me in your neighborhood next Monday and Tuesday, so be on the lookout.
As you just heard, the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office is partnering with Santa Claus this year to launch Operation Grinch Buster to try and bring some Christmas joy. This Monday from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, Santa will ride in a sheriff's office truck as he visits communities throughout the county. Then on Tuesday, he'll visit neighborhoods in and around the city of Georgetown. For a look at the full schedule, just find this story on our website, WMBFnews.com. The clock is ticking for lawmakers to strike a deal by midnight on a spending bill to pay for the government, but they're also trying to agree on a COVID-19 stimulus plan. This as Vice President Mike Pence encourages more Americans to trust and take the coronavirus vaccine when it's available to them. Nadia Romero explains from Washington.
And with that, Vice President Mike Pence gets the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine.
All of us have a role to play. The way through this challenging time is vigilance and a vaccine.
Some lawmakers began getting the vaccine Friday, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
So I'm sure it's not going to be perfect.
Republicans and Democrats back at the Capitol trying to work out two deals, a $900 billion COVID-19 relief plan tied to a $1.4 trillion funding package, all before the government shuts down this weekend for the holidays.
I'm even more optimistic now than I was last night that a bipartisan bicameral framework for a major rescue package is very close at hand.
But some lawmakers remain less optimistic about negotiations.
I think we may need a short-term extension of government funding in order to make sure that both of the bills are done and that we can pass them.
Republicans want to add a provision to limit the Federal Reserve's emergency lending authority. And for some Democrats, it's a deal breaker.
Why in the world would we limit the ability of the next president of the United States and his administration to crush the virus, to provide direct assistance and relief to the American people, and to revive our economy?
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
With the new year, a federal halt to evictions across the country will be lifted. Why some families are afraid they won't be able to afford their rent. That's straight ahead. Fear of eviction is a widespread problem during the pandemic. The federal eviction moratorium is expiring, and come January, payments will be due for thousands of renters. But for many people out of work, a hold on evictions was their only saving grace. Nick Valencia reports.
I gave them your case number.
Like so many others behind on their rent, Jasmine Cruz says she's living on borrowed time. A federal halt on evictions is set to expire December 31st. Cruz, a single mother who owes her landlord 2 months of rent, was recently issued a warrant to pay it. Every day she wakes up expecting to be evicted.
I'm 25 years old. I'm a single mother and I try on my own. Off of like one income, it's not easy. I've been struggling.
Now, with a 2-month-old son, no job, and unable to pay for childcare during the pandemic, she looks after her son full time. With nowhere else to go and no one to count on, Cruz came here to the Thrive Resource Center. Operated out of a makeshift office in an apartment complex, Monica Delancey helps those in Atlanta who are at risk of being evicted. All are either black or Latino, and Delancey knows their story well.
They put me out last year to the date, with the Christmas tree on a cold day like this. With the Christmas tree. We don't want you to get to that point. If you have to move, we want you to move with dignity. We want you to move and pack your things up, and we'll find you a place. But we don't want you to be forced out, because kids do not know how to get over that. Adults can. Kids don't know how to.
Kids like 9-year-old Fantasia, who lives with her grandma, Garnell Hodge.
Hodge lost her job in the service industry because of COVID.
You got this on your door.
Last week, Hodge says Fantasia started to realize how bad things were when the family got an eviction notice.
I also don't have anywhere to go because places are so high and I don't have much income.
Black and Latino families consistently report low confidence in the ability to pay rent during the pandemic. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, communities of color are the hardest hit by the eviction crisis and represent 80% of people facing eviction. In Atlanta, the United Way says 95% of the families they help who are facing eviction are black.
There's, as I said, 2,500 applications in process, and there's thousands more.
I mean, you're
that
getting
want
to the
help.
point where you can't help everybody that needs help.
Not only can we not help, the funding expires end of December. That is the biggest plea we have. If there's some way we can extend it so that we can keep helping families.
The expiring federal eviction moratorium is just one of the outstanding issues in the way of Congress reaching a major rescue package deal. The government could be forced to shut down if they can't reach an agreement by midnight.
Well, if you're going to be heading out here this Friday evening, temperature's going to be falling fast these next couple of hours. Notice mid-40s by 6 o'clock. We're to the upper 30s as early as 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. But we do get a little bit warmer, but also a bit wetter for the weekend. I got your full forecast next.
A popular video game is being turned into a new series for HBO Max. Rick Damigella explains in this week's Game On segment.
We won't get another shot at this. I want Joel to watch over her.
The survival horror video game The Last of Us is making the jump to the streaming series world.
They're coming.
I know. The game is the winner of numerous awards, including an Outstanding Achievement honor from the Writers Guild of America.
The Last of Us is kind of what the title implies. It's the kind of the last vestiges of humanity after a viral infection has raced around the world and killed a lot of people off and turned people into these mushroom-infected zombies.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
And you play as, people trying to struggle against this crazy future dystopia where everything is out to get you, including the other human survivors that are out there.
The HBO Max series has the creator of the Emmy-winning Chernobyl on board to write and executive produce. But for now, there's no official premiere date or cast announcements. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Now, the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
Well, we've been in kind of an active weather pattern where we have rainmakers coming at us about every 2 or 3 days. So today was a break, tomorrow was a break, and then our next rainmaker coming at us heading into the day on Sunday. So that weekend forecast, Saturday is definitely the day if you need to get some outside things done. Sunday is more of a sleep-in bowl of chili pot of soup kind of a day, kind of cool and wet with the best chance of rain at 60% coming as we head through the first half of the day on Sunday. Notice 7 a.m. Sunday morning, future radar showing some of that light rain and drizzle moving into the area. That continues through midday into the early afternoon before we get a bit of a break as we head towards the second half of the day Sunday. And then we get another surge of moisture that likely comes in here heading into Monday. And again, that best chance also going to come through the first half of the day Monday with likely a drying trend as we head towards Monday afternoon into Monday evening. Then it's pretty quiet as we head towards Tuesday into Wednesday. But I tell you what, we've been showing you this here for a couple of days. This is that outlook for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Been talking about a very strong cold front. That very strong cold front still on the way, although still some subtle differences in the timing and just how cold it is behind that front. As far as the forecast for Christmas Eve, we're obviously on the warm side of that front. Both of the big models showing very warm temperatures into the 50s and 60s. Both also showing a pretty decent shot at some rain and gusty winds for Christmas Eve. But late Christmas Eve into Christmas Eve night, that very powerful cold front moves through the area, completely clears us out, but turns us dramatically colder as we head into Christmas Day. And in fact, both models now showing potential high temperatures only into the 30s on Christmas Day. We're not ready to go that cold just yet. That's pretty unusual around here this early in the winter. But either way, it is certainly going to be a pretty wild ride here as we work our way through the holiday. Now, as far as forecast goes for tomorrow morning, certainly quite cold. We're going to have those temperatures 34 at the beaches, 30 in Florence, a couple of upper 20s once you head well inland. And if you are heading out around sunrise, get ready for some frosty windshields. Not a bad afternoon, though. We'll see those temperatures climbing up to the low 50s here for most of us. A couple more clouds start to sneak in as we work our way towards the late afternoon and evening. And then your Myrtle Beach 7-day forecast, again, showing that 60% chance of mainly light rain coming in on Sunday. Second round of light rain coming in on Monday. Quiet weather for you last-minute shoppers there on Tuesday and Wednesday, but there's that wild weather coming up Thursday and Friday. Windy, warm, and wet for Christmas Eve, and then temperatures likely struggling to hit 40 as we work our way into Christmas Day.
We're looking for ways to stay healthy these days, wearing masks, social distancing, and even keeping from seeing loved ones. But buying a new fan, that likely wasn't on anyone's list until now. CNBC's Diana Olick reports.
They're big-ass fans. That's the name of the company. But their real selling point is that now they claim to be COVID-killing fans.
We've tested that with an independent third-party level 3 biosafety lab on the actual SARS-CoV-19.
The fans can now be equipped with either UVC or ion technology, pairing those germ killers with circulation to clean the air in an average room in as little as an hour. UV light on top of the fans kills bacteria, and as the blades turn the air around the light, the air is cleaned. The fans with ion technology are used in large warehouse-type spaces. Those fans emit bacteria-killing ions, which attach to pathogens and viruses and make the air clean. Fan sizes range from 52 inches to 24 feet, and prices for the smallest are not small, starting at around $1,700.
We want that air to be clean in spaces that are occupied so that people can come back to work, come back to school, and get back to living their lives in a more normal fashion, but yet be safe.
Big-ass fans are now in commercial spaces like this Orange Theory fitness studio in Denver, Colorado.
It just continues to give us that comfort level, that we can keep a safe environment.
It feels amazing. It feels really cutting edge and really high tech, and makes me feel even better about coming here.
And they're in residential homes, like Wendy Chin's bedroom in Denver. She called it pricey, but worth it.
Now I have this UVC fan. I feel a little bit comfortable to have people coming to my house to do repairs, to do home improvement.
The company spent about $3.5 million over the last 6 months to incorporate this technology into their fans. The new fans are now in gyms, schools, restaurants, the Toyota plant, and even boxes overlooking the Breeders' Cup last month. And don't forget, if you're sending gifts and cards by mail this year, you'll want to get them out earlier than usual. The United States Postal Service says with more people expected to stay at home this year, that means more people are using their services for holiday greetings. This is video of the Surfside Beach post office earlier this week. To help, the USPS is expanding Sunday delivery to areas with high package volumes. Mail carriers will also deliver packages for an additional fee Christmas Day in select locations. USPS says customer traffic this week has been the busiest of the holiday season. So here are some important deadlines to remember for packages to arrive by Christmas. Today is the deadline for first-class mail services. And if you need to ship something express, Wednesday, the 23rd is your deadline. In health headlines, overdose deaths have accelerated during this pandemic. A new report from the CDC says more than 81,000 drug overdose deaths happened here in the U.S. over the last 12 months. That's the highest number ever recorded during a year-long period. While the deaths were trending upwards in the months before the pandemic, CDC officials say the disruption of daily life brought on by COVID-19 also played a role in the increase. Synthetic opioids were responsible for the majority of overdoses, followed by psychostimulants like methamphetamine and cocaine. In South Carolina, DHEC officials are sharing a message for the state, and that's keep Narcan nearby during the holidays. The agency suggests keeping opioid antidotes on hand for those who might be struggling with or have loved ones who are struggling with opioid use disorder. Officials say nearly 40% of overdose deaths happen while a bystander is present. When administered in time, Narcan can reverse the effects of an overdose from opioids like heroin and fentanyl. The nasal spray is available through pharmacies without a prescription. COVID-19 vaccinations are already underway for some adults across the country, but testing on children is really just getting started. So the big question is, will the COVID vaccine be safe for your kids? Mara Ansari reports.
A lot of people might not realize that the immunizations being developed right now are intended for adults.
I think people are thinking, oh, let's just get all the kids immunized. Well, you can't do that. This vaccine has only been really studied in the 18 and over population.
According to the Association of American Medical Colleges, child vaccine research advocates understand why COVID-19 efforts have prioritized adults. They have suffered the vast majority of known infections, severe illnesses, and deaths. But a growing number of doctors and researchers are sounding alarms that the nation cannot beat COVID-19 until it inoculates children.
I think it is really important. So we know that kids are getting COVID, and we know that a small number of them are going to get really sick. So vaccinating kids will have some benefit to them.
Pediatrician Dr. Chris Bryant says vaccinating kids will make it easier to open up schools, kids playing sports, being around friends and grandparents. Trials with children under 12, including infants and toddlers, still needs to happen.
I think it'll be the same vaccine. We will need to know the right dose for children, the right schedule, how many doses do they need.
Disappointment surrounding Teal Nation as tomorrow's Sun Belt title game between Coastal Carolina and Louisiana has been canceled due to COVID cases within the Chants program. What head coach Jamie Chadwell has to say about that announcement and what he's focused on moving forward. New at 5, the South Carolina's Mothers Against Violence, making sure the pandemic isn't stopping Christmas cheer this year. They were able to bring joy to children in our area this holiday season. Also new at 5, a high school team looking to bring home a state championship. Sports director Gabe McDonald joins us live from Columbia with a preview ahead of Marion's big game.